What's up, guys? This is Nico, one of your co-commissioners of the PNL, the Premier NFL Fantasy Football League, which is a 32-team dynasty league. This league is unique and it's crazy. A little bit of background on me. I've been playing fantasy football since 13 years old. So as far back as I can remember, I'm 32 now. I've been playing for a long time. And again, forgive me if I may slur some of my words. I've been working from, 12 this afternoon, and it's 4 a.m. I got home about an hour ago. So I do a day job and a night job, so I get kind of tired. But I'm going to record the video, and we're going to make this great. So I'm going to go through some things with you guys. Again, my background, been playing since I was 13 years old. First league I ever joined when I was younger was a dynasty league at a bar. Again, I wasn't old enough to get in the bar, but I was a co-commissioner with my older brother who was. And they would shut the bar down and do a draft. It was a 32-man league. It was pretty awesome. So we're going to go through some stuff and some strategies, how the draft's going to work, how our picks work, how valuable your actual picks are. A lot of people who play in keeper leagues, the picks aren't that valuable usually. With a 32-team dynasty league, your picks for next year or the year after are actually valuable. And it's going to have a lot to do with, again, quarterbacks. 32 quarterbacks, 32 teams. Same thing with running backs. Same thing with tight ends. Wide receivers is a little open. But basically that's kind of how it is. So let's start off here. I have a list so you guys can see. And I'm doing this from my truck because I don't want to wake my wife up. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't appreciate me recording a video in the house at 4 a.m. in the morning. So, all right, let's go through our first thing. So a lot of people kind of asked and wondered why I said no, even though a lot of the people in the league voted for let's keep one player off our team and then do a draft. I voted no for a specific reason. If I was, let's say, the Carolina Panthers or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just throwing teams out there. I'll use Kansas City as an example, actually. So if I'm the owner of Kansas City and I get to keep one player off my team and I pick Mahomes, and in the draft, which is going to be randomized, I end up getting the third or fourth pick, I'm going to literally have a top 3 or top 5 quarterback and also going to be able to get a top 4 running back. That's going to put me at an advantage, and it's going to put everybody else at a disadvantage. I wanted to avoid that as much as possible. That's why I wanted to do a full draft, just randomized, and not actually get into the whole, I'm going to keep one player and this and that, because there's going to be teams that are going to be disadvantaged. And I know people are going to say, hey, if I'm the 30th pick or the 28th pick, I'm already disadvantaged. Not necessarily as disadvantaged as if you got to keep a player off that team and you picked a team that had a guy like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, CMC, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley. Again, to make it as fair as I can, I voted that down. Not going to do that one. So you guys understand what the explanation behind that is. I want to make it as fair as we can. That's why I said no to that. Or else, I do think it's going to put teams at a disadvantage. I don't really want to do that. We're going to try to make this as fair as possible. So that's the reason why I did that. Now, give me a second. Every time I go through something, I'm going to cross it off. That sucks. I'm going to try to make this video fast as possible, and I'll talk really fast. But that might not be the case. All right. So 3, our draft. How is a draft going to work? What's going on with it? So the draft is going to start on the Saturday after we are filled and all paid. Now, I know there's a few people who reached out to me. And again, reach out to me again and let me know. Some people have an issue with, I don't get my check until this time, or my money comes in at this date, but I'm an active player. I understand that. Most of us are going to pay it up as soon as I post the link, which when we are filled up, I will post the link. Right now, currently, we're not. We need 2 more teams, but that could change by the morning. I don't know. I'm in talks with a few teams right now, or a few people right now. So, barring that, as soon as we are filled up, I'm going to post the league to our league safe. I'm using League Safe because it's the most trusted website to use. It's going to disperse our prize money, which will be first, second, third, and first place is going to get a jackpot, but also a trophy with their team name on it and the owner on it. That way you can hold it up all the time to your family and say, hey, I won the PNL League, which is going to be a great league, I'm pretty sure, for centuries to come. Which I want to mention real quick. I'm hoping all you guys do a little video introducing yourself, telling us about your fantasy history or whatever you want to, or maybe just talking trash to the people in your division. I really don't care. Let's all get to know each other, guys. It's going to be a fun league, and I'm thinking with the people we have, it's going to be a league that extends for a long time. On an average, usually you have in a 14 to 16 man league, you usually have a dropout every year of 1 to 2 players. I think we have a solid group of people who will have no dropout, but let's say we do 1 to 2 players. That's still 30 people that we have committed. So, again, let me let you guys know. Round 1, round 2, it's going to be 10 minutes a pick to move up and down. Round 3, round 4, it's going to be 5 minutes so you can still move up and down. And after that, it's going to be a minute 50 a second. So we can get the draft done real quick. It should last us a little bit of time. The draft will start at 11 a.m. on Saturday until 10 p.m. that night, or 11 that night. It'll pause. We'll start back up again on Sunday at 12 or 11 or 12, and it'll pause back again at 10. We'll stop for the weekday because everybody works. We have stuff we have to do, so people don't have time for that. And it'll start back again the next weekend. Usually in leagues I've been in like this, it only takes about 1 to 2, sometimes 3 or 4 days to get it done. This is 32, so it might take 4 days to get it done. But it's a cool thing. You have time to think about it throughout the week, who you're going to pick and who you're not going to pick. And real quick, talking the draft strategy. Be careful who you pick. There's going to be guys who are going to try to mess people over and pick maybe 2 quarterbacks or pick 2 tight ends or 2 top running backs and have them as trade bait. Quarterbacks are very, very valuable in a 32 team dynasty league. Make sure you get your quarterback. I know we want our running backs, and I'm usually a running back heavy guy in my drafts, and I know we want our top receivers, but if you get stuck without a quarterback, it's going to be hard to win that year, depending. But so we all know that's how the draft's going to work. As soon as we fill up, I'll set the date. It'll be the following Saturday, but everyone will have to be paid up too before it happens, okay? So for example, if we get filled up by tomorrow and I post a link for our League Safe, but that doesn't fill up by Saturday, the draft won't be Saturday. If it fills up by Sunday, it'll be Sunday. If not, it'll be the following weekend, all right? So cool. Let's get that taken away. Oh, and real quick with strategy. Again, I would have a strategy planned out from pick 1 to 10, pick 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and then 20 to 32. Again, the guy going at 32 is going to have an advantage. He's going to make 2 picks. And I have a feeling that guy is probably going to pick 2 quarterbacks back to back to try to put some trade bait out there or to try to mess up maybe another team not having a quarterback. That might happen. But again, that team could get him next year by their draft picks or picking a quarterback that might take over a starting job, and a team already has a quarterback but he lost a job, and he's going to have to move up in that draft next year for the rookie draft. All right, so we understand it's a 32 team dynasty league is very technical. You have to do your research, you have to look into it. Second string running backs, even third string running backs with COVID could be very important. Very important. They might be playing. So remember, with COVID this year, a player will sit out 2 weeks. So if he sits out 2 weeks, you want to make sure you're drafting backups for each one of your players. I know that's difficult. I'm just saying those players might not seem like a lot when you draft them, but they might turn out to be very valuable for you in the future during the season. Really make a strategy. Break it down. Think about what you're going to do. Again, break down a strategy if you get pick 1 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and 20 to 32. It's going to be different. I've played in a few 32-team leagues. You need to have a strategy when you go in. All right, going from there, we're going to talk about the quarterback position. A lot of people had an issue with this. So the reason why I put the quarterback position as a flex position, we're going to have bye weeks. So a certain time, you're not going to be able to start your quarterback. If that happens, you can fill him in with somebody else. Or you might have a quarterback that sucks. You didn't get a quarterback that's good, but you have a top receiver, maybe a breakout receiver you have that could score you more points. And you're like, hey, I'd rather put that person there, or even a running back. I wanted to make it essential and valuable for you to be able to take that quarterback out during a bye week, or to fill him in with somebody else if they're not performing correctly, and maybe you don't have a backup, or you didn't have the backup for, let's say, New England when Cam Newton goes down, which he will because he's injury prone, and you didn't have the backup there, which I forgot his name, and you couldn't fill it in, and you're like, all right, I got to find somebody real quick. I got somebody on my bench. Again, remember, third and even fourth receivers, they're going to be valuable. They're going to be valuable. You're going to get a guy in this league, when you have a 32-team dynasty league, a guy who scores 7 points is actually a value for you on your bench. He's not a guy you leave on free agency. And again, with you having 14 bench spots, your free agency is actually on your bench. You see what I'm saying? Your picks matter. Your bench actually matters. Plan a strategy. I can't stress this enough. Don't go into the draft like you do your 10-man leagues or your 12-man leagues or even your 16-man leagues, even 20-man leagues. You need to go into this draft differently. You need to plan out. You need to know that depth chart on that roster. And you need to figure out who you're going to stash on that bench and who you're going to stash on that taxi squad. That is going to be, trust me, it's going to be very valuable for you during the season. Again, like I said, I'm going to slur some words because I'm really, really tired. 12 to now it's 4:30. Whew, getting tired really fast. All right. So, again, that's the reason why I did the QB flex. So you understand, most people are going to start a quarterback in that position, but people are going to have issues, and they're going to have bye weeks with their quarterback. And when you have 32 teams, 32 quarterbacks, I mean, it makes sense. You have to be able to fill somebody in that position. Now, somebody mentioned to me about the tight end position, and they said the tight end position, there's not a lot. I know this year's supposed to be a breakout position for tight ends. If you guys feel like doing this, we can put it to a vote. And if you guys feel like making the tight end position a tight end / wide receiver position, just in case you come to that bye week, which I think would be smart if we did that, I'm cool with that. Let's put it up to a vote. One of the commissioners, me or the other commissioner, will do it. And real quick, I want to thank the commissioner, and I want to thank Bash too. They've been out there hustling on so many different community posts trying to get people to join. I really respect those two guys. Bash, he's in another league with me. Really cool guy, solid guy. I really appreciate both of you guys doing that. But if we want to do something with the tight end position and make it a flex, or not a flex, but a tight end / receiver position, I'm okay with that. I think we should talk about that as a group, because I do think it's going to wear down on tight ends at some point where you're going to have a goose egg in that position. People say, well, what about receiver and running back? You can still start a running back and a receiver even if your running back receiver have bye weeks. You can find somebody to stash in there. Yeah, they might only get you 4 points, but again, in a 32-team dynasty league, 4 points actually matters. 7 points matters. It's not the same thing as your 10-team or 12-team league. All right, guys? So let's get that out of the way. Next thing, I'm going to talk about rosters. And I kind of touched on this. Hold on. There we go. I kind of touched on this. We have our QB / flex, 1 running back, 2 receivers, a tight end, which we may make a tight end / receiver depending on what you guys give me the feedback after the video, a WRT, so 2 WRTs, a kicker. Let me pause on the kicker. Kicker's another position. If you guys want to remove that position or play it out this year and then think about removing it, I'm cool with that too. Comment in our Facebook chat. Let me know what you guys think. But I'm sorry. So 2 WRT spots, which if you didn't know, you could put a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end there. So again, think about that. You already have a running back, 2 receivers you have to start, a tight end you have to start, / maybe a flex, and then another running back, or another wide receiver, running back, tight end. You, off the rip, have to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 offensive starters besides the kicker. You are going to be playing third receivers as your starters. Very important for us not to rush the draft. Go look at depth chart. Depth charts. I'm sorry, guys. Go look at the guys who might not only be breakouts, but could actually get you those 3 or 4 points in those positions that you can start. 3, 4 points, 7 points, 10 points. I won't even go 10 points, but 4 points. I'm telling you guys, in a league like this, it's going to separate you from winning and losing. So make sure you do that, okay? Pay attention to who you're drafting. People go, well, by the 10th round or the 12th round, I don't even know what player's out there. Well, you should go find out what player's out there. You should find out what players are going to get you a few points, because that could determine you winning or not. Make sure you pay attention to that. Of course, the kicker. On defense, we're going to have 2 defensive linemen. You'll start 2 linebackers and 2 cornerbacks. So again, you know that you can vary that position through, but defense will be important too. Defense has a mediocre value in our league right now, which next year we could probably vote to make it higher, but that mediocre value matters. That's a balance I put in there. So if you, per se, don't have such a good offense, but it's a decent offense or kind of good, you can focus your draft on really good defensive players. Really good defensive players can get you anywhere from 10 to 17 points a week. That's a very good thing. You can win off of your defensive players. Again, in this league, you're going to need to concentrate more than just on the top 100 players or, whatever it is. You're going to have to concentrate on depth charts. You're going to have to concentrate on defensive players and make sure you're getting the guys that can go in and out all the time and get you points. It can determine whether you win or lose for the year. Win or lose for the week. Sorry about that, guys. You also have 14 bench spots. Use them wisely. If you draft a guy like CMC, Saquon Barkley, Cook, actually Dalvin Cook from Minnesota is a better example. Everybody's saying pick his backup up. Dalvin Cook gets injured all the time. Get the backup. If you draft Dalvin Cook, you're going to have to draft his backup sooner or later in the draft because he's going to get injured. You're going to need to draft not only his backup, but smartly, I would draft the 3rd string guy. People say, listen to me. If Dalvin Cook goes out, for an example, the backup is going to get plays, but so is the 3rd string guy who will be the 2nd string guy at that time. You should look at, when you draft a player in a dynasty league like this, you should always look at, am I drafting the 2nd and 3rd string of that guy? Even if you don't think they're going to get injured, they'll still get some points. Not only that, but with the COVID thing hitting, guys are going to be sitting out 2 weeks. So that backup's value is great. That 3rd string value is great. Your 3rd receiver, the 4th receiver on the team, actually has a value. A guy who can return punts and kick returns to get yards, which is a stat, is an actual value. Use your 14 bench spots wisely. Do not just have 2 guys, like 7 guys on your bench and leave the rest empty. That's a terrible strategy. Fill those bench spots. All right, guys? Then we're going to go for 4 IR spots. This, we can do some leeway on this. Because of the COVID thing, and you will be able to put COVID players on the IR spot. If you guys want to, we can do 6 on the IR spot, because I understand a lot of times, or this year we're going to have a lot of players land on the IR spot with the COVID disease. I'm okay with going with 6, but I'm also okay with just keeping it at 4. That way people have to drop people off their teams and we can have a better free agency, okay? That's going to, again, I'm keeping it at 4, but if you guys kind of start chirping about it and go, hey man, we should put 6 in there, I'm not against it with a league vote. All right, and then taxi. 6 taxi squad spots. Hey, guys, fill them right. Again, I'm trying to stress out your roster. Your roster is going to be important whether you make it or break it. Just because a guy got some star players does not mean, if they're in the first, 14 picks, does not mean your team is out of it. You still have a chance. Fill that roster up. Breakout players. People who you think may be injured and that guy may take the job. Really concentrate. Start doing your research. Do your research, man. And figure out what you're going to fill it with and get your draft strategy, okay? So after that, I kind of explained how important your roster spot is, so that's fine. How important your draft picks are. Draft picks are important. I'm going to reiterate. When you have 32 teams, 14 bench spots, and 6 taxi spots, your draft next year, 1, 2, 3, 4 pick, because it's going to be a 4-round draft, is actually important. It actually matters now. Somebody could have Tom Brady as their quarterback. Tom Brady goes out. Let's say he retires or he has a season-ending injury, which I don't want to wish on the guy. I actually like Tom Brady. I'm not a New England or a Tampa Bay fan, but I like the guy. He played at Michigan. I'm a big Wolverine fan. You might need to try to move up in the draft to draft his replacement for next year, right? Or trade your picks to get his replacement, all right? Or draft somebody next year in the rookie draft that's going to take the job of somebody else on another team and put somebody else in a bad situation. So your picks matter. Our draft picks for next year and the year after are way more valuable than they usually are. Understand that, guys. All right? So let's go to our next thing. Divisions. So your divisions will be the real-life divisions for year 1, and that's it. To work out the parity in this league, only 8 teams make it to the playoffs. I've been emailing back and forth with Sleeper to try to see if we can extend it, because I don't think it should be 8 teams. I think it should be 16 teams that make it to the playoffs, but they don't have a format for that, so we can't do that. And plus, we'd have to shorten the season to do that, which I'd be willing to do. But anyways, so only 8 teams. So the top team, so if you won your division, you made it to the playoffs, and you're going to play against the other top 7 teams in our league, which is going to be interesting because the second tier of teams are actually going to be solid teams playing against each other. But if you finish last, to try to switch things up, sorry about that, thought something was coming. I'm in the truck, like I said. If you finish last, we will shuffle you to another division in your conference. You won't go to the other conference. You'll just go to another division in your conference. The reason I'm doing that, I think we're going to get stuck with divisions that have 4 solid teams, and it's going to be a battle for them, and they're never going to be able to get out of it. So we're going to switch them over one by one. So if you finish last in your division, let's say the NFC North, you finish last in the NFC North, you will get switched with the team who finished last in the NFC South, or vice versa. It doesn't matter, okay? Or West and whatever. That's going to happen, so you guys kind of understand how that works, all right? I know I'm already at 23 minutes. I'm going to speed this up, guys. All right. Who are you guys going to play this year? You are going to play everybody in your division twice. 6 games. You're going to play everybody in your division twice. We're going to try to follow the NFL schedule as much as possible. It's not going to work out that way, but we're going to really try it. You'll play every team in your division twice. You will play 3 games, which will change the next year, but you'll play 3 games in your conference. So, you're going to play 3 conference games, okay? And then you'll play 3 out of conference games. So it'll be kind of like the NFL, well, with less out of conference games and everything like that, because again, our playoffs start week 13. All right? So everybody kind of knows who you're going to be playing. Playoffs, kind of talked about it with you guys. Only 8 teams make it. Very important to win your division. Your divisional games are very important. Like, I can't stress this enough. And it goes back to the whole roster thing. Everybody wants to do a draft. Let's do our draft. Let's get ready. When's the draft? Where are we going to do the draft? Chill. Half of you guys, I don't think, have even made a strategy of where you're going to be in the draft. What if you're 32nd? What are you doing at 32nd? Are you picking 2 quarterbacks to try to get somebody to make trade bait with you? Are you, again, 32, there's still really good players available. Are you building around a wide receiver at that point? Which I'm pretty sure you should be, either a wide receiver or quarterback. But the rosters, do your research. I'm stressing this. You want to fill that 14 bench spots with actual people. If you don't, you're leaving somebody out there, and that person will be picked up in free agency when you really need him. So look at each team, do research, look at what's going on. Look at the whole COVID thing. People are going to be falling out like flies, and when they fall, and of course we're going to have a season, just so you guys know. I saw the poll I put up. There will be a season, all right? No bad juju out here. But fill those roster spots. Make sure they're clean, cut, and nice. Again, 8 teams make it. 8 teams. First place, jackpot, trophy. Second place, money. Third place, you played for free. Which sucks, you didn't make any money, but at least you played for free. And this is going to be a great league anyways, all right? So let's get that out of the way. A few more things, you guys. Trades. We're going to work trades, and I want to see if this works. If you propose a trade and you guys work out a trade, and this is why, reiterate, everybody needs to be in our Facebook league chat. Trade votes will not go through the Sleeper app. The Sleeper messaging app sucks. I hate using it. It's hard to post pictures, post videos on there. We're not doing it. You need to have a Facebook messaging app. If you don't want to have Facebook, which is cool, no problem, man. I got a lot of people I know that don't like Facebook. We have people in other leagues I play with that don't like Facebook and they don't have one. You can just download the Facebook messaging app. I'll have you put a number down there. You can put a fake number, it doesn't matter. An email address in your first and last name, and then we can add you to our league chat. All voting, all discussions on league changes or anything are going to go through our Facebook league chat. And I think there's 1 person or 2 people who don't have a Facebook in our league. I could be lying on that, I'm not sure. But again, we're going to get in contact with you, make sure you have that. Trades are going to be 2 days. 2 days. I don't want to hear anybody complaining, oh, we're making the trade on Wednesday and I need the guy available by Thursday. It's not going to happen. Trades are 2 days. Everybody's going to have 2 days to vote on the trade. Majority rules, okay? If you don't vote on the trade, you don't have a say on it. But if a trade gets 10 plus and 9 no's, it's going to go through. Me or one of the commissioners are going to push it through. It's going to be your responsibility when you guys accept the trade and you guys worked it out to make a poll and post it on our Facebook league chat so we can vote on it. When you post that poll, 48 hours from then, 48 hours from then is when me or one of the commissioners is going to accept the trade or decline it, depending. Now, if you, here's one thing that could happen. If you post a trade and we have 32 teams, okay? And within the first day or the first 4 hours, 17 teams vote yes on it, we're going to accept it right then and there. We're not going to wait the 2 days. The 2 days is to give people time because people work, they have kids. We all got a lot of stuff going on, man. Fantasy football is not our main thing. It's just our thing we do for a pastime. So, but it's kind of a way to work it out. Now, we're going to try it with League Vote. If it gets to the point where it becomes stupid, which I don't think it should be, me and the commissioners will take over accepting trades, which I don't want to do that. I think the more commissioners less involved with what happens in the league, the funner the league is. So, again, it's going to be a league vote. 2 days, unless you get 17 people to vote yes within whatever time is allowed, then it's going to be accepted by me or the other commissioner, all right? So that's all said and done. And waivers, which I know a lot of you guys are thinking, waivers not going to be important, man. You just said, we're going to have our waiver wires really on our bench because we're going to be picking them in the draft. I've been in 32-man leagues. There will still be people on the waivers that you're going to pick up. You don't think there are, but there will be. The waivers are going to be a continuous rolling list. For an example, if you have the first waiver wire pick, like you get the first option, and you use it, you drop down to, guess what, 32nd. And the guy who was second moves up to first, the guy who was third moves up to second, so on and so on, so you guys understand, okay? That's how it's going to happen. That's going to be our waiver wire. So make sure you pay attention to that too. Again, the waiver wire in a 32-man league doesn't start to actually matter until about week, I would say 5 to 8. I would say 5 to 6. Around there is when it starts to matter. So pay attention to that. It's going to be a continual rolling list. And it's going to depend on what pick you had in the draft, on what actual waiver priority you have. So last thing I want to talk about, we're at 31 minutes. Still shorter than what I thought it was going to be. I had a whole list of things. What is that? A whole list of things that I was going to talk to you guys about. We went through all of them. So one thing I want to mention with everybody is going to be, I'm sorry, I had to pause it real quick. So one thing I want to mention to everybody, a lot of people are scared that the season may not happen or we may have a shortened season. So I've been on a few league posts and league chats with other commissioners who run leagues, dynasty and non-dynasty leagues, it doesn't matter. So there's going to be a few options, and this one is going to be left up to the group. You guys are going to let me know what you think, and we're going to work with it. So let's say the season gets canceled right now. Well, season gets canceled, everybody's getting their money refunded. We're not going to do anything about that. It's over. Everybody gets their money refunded. It's over. Hopefully everybody stays in and we go with next year. We keep our rosters and we go from next year. My idea is, if we get past week 10, so if we get past week 10, there's a few options. Number one option would be is the first place team overall gets the trophy and the jackpot. Second place team overall, gets the second place jackpot. Third place team overall gets their money back. A lot of people say, what about tied records? Well, it's going to go by the most points scored if that happens. So if you're, 10 and something, and the other team is 10 and 3, and another team is 2, it's going to go by your guys' allowed points. And I think if your points are tied, which is pretty much never happened,